Today I have 4 case studies for this essay: Sarah Connor and Furiosa, John Wick, and Eve. We're also going to look at the double standards that plague film criticism. Sarah Connor is the iconic protagonist of the Terminator franchise, who transforms from a vulnerable waitress to hardened warrior. She represents one of cinema's most compelling character arcs. Yet if these films were released today, it's almost certain that certain people would label her evolution as woke filmmaking and her a girl boss, ignoring the years of trauma, training, and psychological cost that fueled her transformation. This rhetoric has become, unfortunately, pervasive in contemporary film discourse. As I said in my first video in this series, the term girl boss has been weaponized by grifters to dismiss any female character who displays competence, leadership, or physical capability today. Furiosa is another character who went through years of trauma after her mom was executed. She was kidnapped and sold to Immortan Joe. She had to adopt in such a hostile environment, which hardened her and fueled her transformation as well. Yet, she is called a girl boss by culture war grifters. Many female character arcs span years of preparation, sacrifice, and genuine character growth. They don't simply wake up capable. They earn every skill through obsessive training and at great cost. Yet, grifters ignore this nuanced development in favor of surface-level culture war talking points. Linda Hamilton's physical transformation for Terminator 2 would certainly draw criticism today. Her lean, muscular physique, the result of intense training that reflected her character's obsessive preparation, would likely be labeled too masculine or unrealistic for a woman. You all remember how these men talked about Abby, a woman in a post-apocalyptic world who transformed her body with one goal in mind: revenge. Like Sarah Connor, she spent years training for one moment, knowing that physical weakness could mean death for herself and her crew, just like how weakness meant death for Sarah and her son. Her body reflects her mindset and desire for revenge. Yet grifters only focused on how her appearance challenges traditional feminine aesthetics, rather than how it serves the story. And yes, Sarah Connor would face the same bullshit today. We'd get endless slop videos about whether her body is too masculine for a woman. Now let's look at Eve from Ballerina. When the film came out, there were complaints about her ability to outsmart and outfight men in the film from online critics. Despite the fact that she went through difficult training for most of her life, she was taken in as a child and went through grueling training for years, these same critics readily accept male action heroes performing impossible feats. They suddenly discover a passion for realism when faced with a woman doing the same. Consider John Wick's character, from the same universe, who regularly dispatches dozens of trained assassins, some twice his size, with balletic precision, sometimes using materials like pencils, which in the real world would be f***ing impossible. Audiences and critics alike are fine with suspending disbelief for the sake of entertainment for a man, yet a woman doing the same, even one with clear established training, faces scrutiny about believability that her male counterparts never face. This selective application of realism standards reveals an underlying bias. That's why there's no such thing as a boy boss. When Eve uses improvised weapons, tactical thinking, and sheer determination to survive encounters with superior opponents, it's unrealistic. When John Wick kills 3 men with a pencil, it's badass. When Mace, a trained spy, takes out men in a fight, it's unrealistic. When Deckard Shaw takes out a room of men, it's badass. There's plenty of examples. The difference isn't the plausibility of the action, it's the gender of the character performing it. These grifters approach action heroes based on gender. Male protagonists are allowed to be unstoppable forces of nature. John Wick's supernatural gun fu, Jason Bourne's impossible survival skills, or Rambo's one-man army capabilities are celebrated as genre conventions. The audience understands these characters operate in a heightened reality, where ordinary rules don't apply. But dare suggest that a woman might possess similar capabilities, even in heightened reality and with established training, and suddenly realism becomes paramount. Sarah Connor today wouldn't be seen as a strong woman, but as a political statement that needs to be fact-checked and criticized for plausibility. This is how grifters view female agency, as inherently political, rather than simply entertaining. They can't separate a woman's competence from cultural commentary, while male competence is just accepted as default. I hate these clowns and what they've done to film discourse. This is the damage of retroactive criticism. Reducing complex characters to culture war talking points robs audiences of the opportunity to engage with the storytelling. All the female characters I've talked about today are not girl bosses, as you've been told by grifters. They are persons transformed by extraordinary circumstances into something harder and more capable. The fact that modern discourse reduces this complexity to buzzwords and political talking points says more about current film discourse than it does about these characters. Sarah Connor doesn't need defending from grifters. Her story speaks for itself. But recognizing how she might be mischaracterized today helps illuminate the state of modern film criticism that prioritizes culture war points over actual analysis. Anyways, guys, that's all for this video. Consider liking and subscribing to support my series. Movies have always been woke.